Hey, welcome back, folks. Trooper Barry here with some more of our coverage of the Choose Wisely Festival. And now we're going to check out the demo for Death and Faeology. It's another title from Mushroomallow, an indie studio in Indonesia. We just checked out their other offering for the festival, Okami. And so now we're moving from the Japanese spirit world to a dark academia kind of murder mystery set in the Roaring '20s in New York. But as you can tell, there will be some of the old magical realism here with the fae folklore being part of the setup here. Let me just bring that down just a touch. Okay. All right, we're locked in. So let's jump in, and so we're going to play the prologue of Death and Faeology. What is our name? Our name is grading first-year assignments can be such an exercise in patience. I ought to remind myself that Faeology is a relatively recent science, only a couple decades old. This university, the only Faeology university in the whole country, was just finished being built in 1905. It is still barely acknowledged in the academic field. More importantly, I've got to keep in mind that children inherit their parents' prejudices and misconceptions. Okay, are the sound effects a bit loud, or are they okay? Just let me know, chat. The human world has formed its own notion of fairies. Alas, I find myself unable to suppress a big sigh every time I read references to poison apples ushering princesses into a deep sleep. A reference to the Cottingley fairies is one I can understand, since it was quite the sensation not too long ago. Yeah, thanks, Arthur Conan Doyle. Although it would be clear in the eyes of renowned faeologists that the photographs are mere imitations. A pity that Sir Doyle was taken in by it. Yeah, there we go. It's a loud, okay, hang on. Okay, yeah, these are the only two sliders I have. I'll bring that down just a bit. There, we'll try that. But thank you, Brady B. I ought to take a break. The grading session today has taken me on quite a tangent. My beloved Oz. I suppose having a fairy companion does give one an advantage in identifying genuine fairies. I'd say a break is in order. Wouldn't you, Oz? Oz responds through trills that I've learned to interpret over the decades I've known them. Oh, the Cottingley fairies again? Yes, and Princess's eternal slumber due to poisoned apples. Oh, we don't much care for human princesses. Oh, but making poisoned apples is rather easy feat. Shall I turn one of them into a toad in front of the whole class to show that fae folk is more capable than that? But at the same time, showing that not all fairies are a friendly bunch? I can't help but chuckle at the thought of that. I believe some might just quit the same day if you did that. Besides, if other faeologists get hold of your presence, who knows what they'll do to you? Chances are high they'll try to pin you to a corkboard and vivisect you. I would never let that happen. Oh, I've always appreciated you pursuing faeology to ensure that. Hey, it's the least I can do. We've known each other since I was 7. You saved me countless times since then. Well, you could have let me bleed to death when you found me. I would never. I can hear a delightful melody of chirps laced with a touch of whimsy, which makes me feel just a tad fizzy. It seems that the laugh of a fairy possesses some magical quality. Well, while you're on break, isn't there something else on your agenda this afternoon? Right, Mr. Henkel's letter. Thanks for reminding me. I retrieve the letter from my patron from my desk drawer. I lean back in my chair and read the missive aloud to myself. Dear Meatball, how long are you going to keep me in suspense? Will you or will you not accompany me to this year's Leo's Gala? You could do a lot worse than forgetting your boring books for a moment in favor of whiling away an evening with champagne and canapes and invigorating company. And when I say invigorating, I don't mean those old sods with deep pockets ready to be exploited by way of funding grants for your research. I'm speaking, of course, of yours truly. Do write me sometime before Saturday. Oh, that's tomorrow's night, isn't it? Oh, I know. My delay in responding is entirely by design, I assure you. I'd hate to be getting the looks from the crowd like I'm a wet blanket. Faeology isn't worth my dough, they'd say. Oz's replying chirp is decidedly indignant. I nod to Oz in agreement before returning to Mr. Henkel's letter. Heard on the news, I've heard that little Ruthie Blythe caused a minor ruckus in the city's hardest speakeasy. If your old friend Detective Krass hadn't been in the area at the time as well, who knows what could have happened? I find myself rather perturbed at this revelation. I would have telephoned Ruthie and asked what the story was like when we were children. However, for better or worse, we aren't on friendly terms anymore. I resume reading my patron's letter. Speaking of the detective, have you two been keeping in contact? He gave me the cold shoulder when I crossed paths with him at last week's benefit. I couldn't help assuming that his persistently frosty treatment of me might have something to do with you. Is it forced that the extensive bonds you have with him should end in a rather bitter taste? As you told me more than once, when it was good, there was nothing quite like it. Yet you speak very little of him now, and I find myself wondering if he still holds a place in that guarded heart of yours. The letter is signed, Yours Everlasting, Oscar Henkel. Well, I've kept Mr. Henkel waiting long enough. I press a pen to a fresh sheet of paper to commence crafting a response. Just then, a familiar rhythmic rapping pierces the silence, as if someone gently rapping at my chamber door. Sir, said I, or madam, truly your forgiveness I implore. But the fact is, I was rapping. And okay, God. I was going off on the Simpsons version of the Raven, but we'll leave that be. Anyway, I glanced in the direction of Oz, but they're nowhere to be seen. Oz must have camouflaged himself in a heartbeat. I put Mr. Henkel's letter in the drawer before calling out. Come in, Minnie. Okay, yeah, so we're going with a full flapper haircut there. My assistant enters the office. She's careful to snap the door shut behind her. Minnie, Minerva, I see. Professor? Yes, Minnie? Were you talking to yourself again? That's right, you know me. I see. Sometimes I wonder what she must have thought while hearing the mumbling sounds of me speaking with Oz. But she knows when not to poke her nose into things. One of the things I like about her, also what makes her the bee's knees when it comes to being an assistant. So yeah, that's some authentic 1920s slang there. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but he's here. Who? That police detective from the newspapers. Police detective? Even as I echo those two words, there's a sinking feeling in my stomach. Rapping upon your chamber door, like Dr. Dre and Rudy Ray Moore. And they're gonna stumble over my ottoman like Dick Van Dyke and Mary Tyler Moore. Anyway. You know, the man who made you crumple those papers and toss them in the trash can. In the end, we had to stop our subscription for the dailies. Detective Theodore Krauss? Yes, that's the one. Knowing Theo is here makes my world go momentarily off kilter. It's as if, by the magic of the fairy tales I'm malign, the ink in my patron's letter has manifested him into the reception area. Can't you tell him I'm out delivering a lecture on the far side of the campus or something? Yeah, that depends. Is a lie like that going to deter this man? An astute question. She is truly wise beyond her years. Probably not. He'd happily traverse the entire campus just to torment me, I'm guessing. All right, let him in. With a brisk nod, Minnie returns to the reception area. I barely have time for a steadying breath before Theo barges in. He drops a box on my desk right off the bat. What is this? Why is he in my office? Well, well, look who the cat dragged in. Not even a how do you do? What? Did nicety suddenly mean something to you? I seem to recall you packing your bags and moving out without so much as a goodbye. There was no one to say goodbye to. Didn't you find out I left only a few days later? At least it made it easier for you to leave, didn't it? There is a tinge of hurt in his voice that I'm only able to pick up because we lived together for several months. As my mouth struggles to catch the words hanging in the air, I feel a piercing, icy silence creeping in. I ought to break the silence before I freeze. What's in the box? What's in the box? He lets out a deep sigh that sounds rather like a relief. Your things you somehow didn't take with you when you left. Even that oddly crafted handkerchief you love so much. That handkerchief was a gift for you. I see the corner of his mouth twitch. He's lying. What should I do with this information? Good question. Reach out to the box to check, or respond in disbelief. Hang on. Okay. Skip. Oh, is there a? Oh, there is a save option. Ooh, but only 4 save slots. Yeah, so we played a couple of the demos had like dozens and dozens. This one got 4, so it probably be harder to save scum. Not impossible, but harder. Yeah, let's check. I quickly stretch out my hand to the box, but yet he is just as fast at catching my wrist before I can open it. I withdraw my hand from his grip swiftly, like a startled bird soaring into the sky. That truly caught me off guard. I'd forgotten what his hand feels like. I was only kidding. You really haven't changed much, have you? You just went straight for it. He sounds amused and slightly pleased, as if he just confirmed the accuracy of one of his deductions. Neither of you. I threw all of it away right after you vanished. He says with a subtle squint in his left eye, another lying tell of his. I can't help but sigh at his antics. Of course you did. So what's really in the box? Want to take a guess? I do have an idea. Knowing him, he'd sooner face the whole Al Capone gang by himself and take their bulls before coming to visit me. Excuse me. Point of order. What is it? We're supposed to be in New York. Isn't Al Capone based in Chicago? Well, I guess that's not. That's more minor pedantry than anything that should be, immersion breaking. But anyway, this must be way more important than our pointed history. Case evidence? I've seen boxes like this one before, but never one quite so large. This is a really big case, isn't it? He nods. The biggest of my career. And to come to me of all people, you must be at your wit's end about this. He looks away, as if trying to hide how galling the circumstances are. Truth be told, I'd rather face the whole Al Capone gang and take their bullets than have to see you again. Damn, we are good. Gee, that stings a little. So why would you... Hold on a minute. You think this has some sort of connection to fairies? He flicks his tongue in exasperation. Oh my. It seems I've hit the bullseye. We stopped talking about fairies at some point when we were still together. Those talks always led to a heated discussion, and then into arguments because nothing I could say could change his skepticism toward mystical beings. Hey, extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. That's just how it is. This is certainly the chance to tease him about it, though it might be unwise considering the emotional peril he must have gone through to get here. Okay. Okay, yeah, so we're clear. Yeah, we don't know that we are, but it feels like we're a female coded MC. And as a woman, it is of course our job to coddle and gently swaddle men's feelings at all times, lest they start feeling anger, one of the only emotions they're allowed to feel. So we will not tease him, and instead we will ask him more about his thoughts. I know this must be hard for you, but I can't help if you don't say anything. He sighs. You're right. As difficult as it is to admit, the things you told me before about fairies and whatnot might have helped to make some sense in this case. But I have to say, for the sake of my sanity, I still don't believe they exist. Fair enough. He appears pleasantly surprised by my answer, as though he was expecting a quarrel right around the corner. Little did he know, I have learned that it's moot to try to explain the otherworldly beings to him. So, what makes this case so significant? Why do you think it relates to fairies? Are you even allowed to tell me? I hear the sound of a chuckle under the breath, like a bolt from the blue. For a brief moment, his gaze on mine seems to revert to how it used to be, until the seriousness returns to his face. First things first. Since I'm leading the investigation, I do have some discretion on what details to divulge and to whom. That is, if the confidant can bring value to the investigation. And I've known you for a fact that you can be discreet. I know that you... Okay. Still, I must ask for your sworn secrecy on this matter. Alright, you got it. So, tell me about the case. Why does it seem to be of paramount importance? It's a multiple murder case, potentially perpetrated by a single culprit. The victims are chiefly middle-aged women residing north of the city. They're from old money families, the types that make regular appearances at high society events. I see. No wonder you're tensed up. You're telling me. Chief took me off every other case and insisted I put all my time and effort into this. It's only a matter of time until the press catches wind and makes a circus of everything. And with some of the victims' peculiar manners of death, he pauses for dramatic effect. This is where the fairies come in? He silently stares and then sighs. I swear I must be losing my mind. You've got this. Now he's roused in a long, deep breath. 3 of the victims had a manner of death that the unit has never seen or heard of before. The strangest case is the one where the body seemingly hardened into bony tissue overnight. Her corpse almost looked like a carved wood statue. Oh, I've heard of something like that before. Of course you have. I frowned at him. Don't start now. He clears his throat abashedly. Without finding out what caused these deaths, and more importantly, who did this, the press could spin the stories out of control. I don't want to imagine the look on the victims' families' faces if and when the fairies are making a razz of those poor women's deaths. Besides, what kind of pretty sick bastard goes around murdering women in such a way? The city's already running on fumes, crimes becoming more rampant by the day. People shouldn't have to look over their shoulder every night. There's no way to live. Even as he lapses into silence, I say nothing. It's not just the city. The rising crime is bleeding him dry too. Yet, I am unsure of what words could soothe those who are fighting it on the front line. I have never been where they are. The frown lines between his eyebrows grow deeper. You know, considering the victims' background, having these murders being exaggerated in the papers would pressure the families to insist on closing the case as soon as possible. No matter the cost. No matter who's to blame. You're right. Innocent people are going to bear the brunt for this. This is a terrible situation. I feel my stomach churning. My arms cross on instinct, trying to hold my own disquietude in place. Is there anything you can do? I'm just one man. Try as I might, I can't keep those rotten police brass from lining their pockets. Nothing but a pack of low-lives in high places. He exhales sharply, his voice laced with contempt. He falls into silence yet again. Similarly, words seem to have abandoned me, as I can't shake this feeling of helplessness crawling under my skin. After a minute, he meets my eyes once more. Well, you're a good listener. Better than most. He curls his lips into almost a smile. I don't mind it at all. Thanks. He clears his throat once more. All right, let's get down to brass tacks. This box includes case files, crime scene photos, a couple of blood samples, which I was able to request to bring to you, and several other pieces of evidence. Other than the strange matters of death I said, forensics was puzzled too by the blood samples. How so? One of them doesn't contain iron. That's interesting. Nothing surprises you, does it? Well, about this peculiarity. I'd bring up something from my fairy books, but you'd always find a way to deny it. You're right about that. I'm still investigating the possibility of unknown drugs or poison that can somehow cause these oddities. But I'd be a fool not to go after my hunches and look into all possibilities. What about robbery? Ruled out. No fingerprints, no evidence of breaking in, nothing's been stolen. Motives? Revenge? We're still interviewing the city elites, looking for possible motives. But it takes time. You know how it is. Yes, of course, they're all very busy. Speaking of city elites, I know people who can be very helpful in getting some inside information. His expression turned sour at full tilt. Who? That man? I said people, but yes, that man would be particularly helpful in this matter. He scoffs brazenly and doesn't even try to hide it. Even at the first meeting with Mr. Henkel, there was some inexplicable tension between the two. Theo has said something about Mr. Henkel feeling off, and always hated it whenever I had something to do with him. Though it might have just been jealousy in disguise. You know I'm right. Even if he's barely in the newspapers, he's most likely at the pinnacle of high society. And I don't think he'll mind if I ask him a few things about this. Of course, he's always had a soft spot for you. Hell, he's probably carrying it towards you for a long time, judging by the way he follows you everywhere. Well, he happened to be interested in faeology and has a lot of money to allow its development. Look at you, all ready to defend him. What are you to an item now? I might have steered this reunion right back to where we were months ago by bringing up Mr. Henkel. But it was necessary to mention him. I don't know anybody else who would have that much information about high society. Besides, there's never really been anything. Even if we did go to fundraising events together from time to time. It was strictly business. Yet again, Theo seems to lose his reason whenever we talk about Mr. Henkel. I don't have the time or the energy to argue with him. So we can try to make our angry ex see reason, or explain the truth. I mean, didn't we just do that? I feel like we did. Okay. We might as well be truthful, because, trying to telling him, calm down, dear, probably wouldn't go very well. We're not anything. We go to fundraising events from time to time, but these are work. I've got to get money for my research from somewhere, you know. Our relationship is strictly business. He gives me a dirty look. Sure, I believe you. No, he doesn't. Besides, what I do with him is none of your beeswax. His voice becomes even more irritated. That's right, it's not my concern. Do whatever you want with him. Just make sure he can keep his mouth shut about the case. And I can't help but groan at this turn of events. I will. While we're on the subject of useful allies, you mentioned before about the blood that doesn't contain iron. I can take the blood samples to the university's chemist. She's good at what she does. And she's from a rich family. She might know some of the victims, or their families at least. I'll trust your judgment. I take it this is you agreeing to help with the case? That's right. There are lives at stake. He let out a soft smile, as though in quiet agreement with what I said. Thank you. Well, if you think it'll be helpful, you can even ask the people you mentioned what they know using evidence items. But the case files are for your eyes only. Understood. He's fallen silent somehow, leaving an uncomfortable hush in the air once more. Suddenly, a realization comes to mind. Does this mean you'd be willing to hear about fairies? About faeology? That depends. If this was indeed fairy doings, and if through your investigation you can provide solid theories on 3 things. The culprit, the methods of murder, and the motives. Okay, yeah, so... Yeah. Identity, means, motive, opportunity. Sure. Supported by evidence, of course. I'm sticking with the idea there's a logical explanation, an earthly one. For now. Fair enough. I wager that we have about 24 hours to get some sort of answer. An answer that makes sense. I can feel the papers are close to getting the story. While you're investigating this lead, I'll look further into unusual drugs and poisons. How about a faeologist? Do you dare take on this challenge? Accept the challenge, or I'll help even without being challenged. I don't see the difference there. They can go, oh yeah, or even without being challenged, I'll still help you, you know. He stares at me impassively. Of course I know. Well, if you need anything from me, you can just ring me. Very well. But you need to promise me you'll not just hear me out, but also keep an open mind on fairy topics if I succeed in what you asked. I promise. But I can't promise not to scoff from time to time. That's good enough. How to get going? Maybe this will be an opportunity for you to increase faeology's credibility in the eyes of academics. Maybe. Seems like some detective has been following the tiny part of faeology in the newspaper. Says you. The one who had to stop the daily paper subscription just because some detective kept getting all the headlines. How do you... Before I could finish, he'd walked toward the door and opened it. See you tomorrow around the same time. I hear the door close. Hey! I exclaim with a hint of frustration. After some thought, I realized he must have noticed the missing newspaper on my desk and my assistant's. Reading papers was part of my daily routine when we were together. I can only shake my head in disbelief. He hasn't changed much either. As I'm reminiscing about a few moments of our past relationship, Oz reveals himself again now that we're alone. Whoa, that was quite a reunion. It was quite the reunion indeed. He hasn't changed at all, has he? Well, I suppose. Although you don't have an obligation to help him. I know, but I've already agreed. Alright, well, just don't overwork yourself. Thanks, Oz. I find myself slowly drifting into thoughts. A victim's manner of death hardening into bony tissue could be one of the fairy curses, ossification. If only I could ask Oz whether a fairy was behind this, and which one, but it's not that simple. Even if they are my longtime companion, fairies have their own rules about exchanging favors, and they are secretive about their land, too. A favor like that doesn't come cheap. At least I'm stocked up on milk and honey for small requests. Speaking of requests, I should get started on my reply to my patron's letter. For some reason, he seems to be more insistent this time that I come with him to the gala. I retrieve a pen and paper, and I mumble to myself as I write. Dear Mr. Hankel, I hope your recent forays into high society have proven more fruitful than they have in... Should I be hyperbolic? About what? Yeah, and unlike a lot of the other games we've played, there's no back button. Yeah, there's no... I don't... Is there a log? There is not a log. Okay. So... Yeah, the scroll wheel does nothing. Alright, well, we're just going to power through here then. Now, we'll be realistic. More fruitful than they have in the half-decade or so you've been alive. What? Our patron has been alive 5 years? Believe it or not, I have been considering whether the merits of trying to impress the wealthiest folk of the city outweigh the obvious indignities. You first brought up the possibility of my accompanying you to the annual Leos Gala a couple months ago, and I'm still weighing my options. I don't want to play this. Be coy or be apologetic? About... I mean, we're clearly going. Right? I still don't have a definite answer for you at present, I'm afraid. I sincerely apologize for my indecisiveness. About Ruthie, I can't say I'm surprised to hear about her latest flirtation with a disaster. Since we were both toddlers, she's frequently found herself in trouble. Her fiery personality certainly doesn't help get her out of quarrels. I would love to telephone her and ask her how she's doing, but we drifted apart a long time ago. Nevertheless, I'm glad to hear Theo was there to smooth things over for her. I've now arrived at the topic of Theo, or Detective Kraus, as my patron prefers. I suppose his query was meant to uncover whether I still care for Theo. How should I answer? I mean, there's clearly a good deal of disrespect on Theo's part for what we do, if not us as a person. See, granted, I don't know. Like, is this patron of ours any better? As for Theo, I've long since stopped dwelling on him. I thought of him and I as a relic of the past, and I feel no regret in having ended it when I did. Upon signing off, I sealed the letter with wax. I then turned toward my trusted Fae. Oz, can I please trouble you with something? Oh yeah, you want me to deliver the letter to your patron, don't you? Indeed. Time is of the essence here. As always, please take care not to catch anyone's attention. He'll see it by tomorrow morning, I'm sure. Oh, it'll be my pleasure. Thank you, Oz. I'm off. I'll see you later tonight. I watch as Oz flits out of my office window and vanishes. Once the Fae is gone, I call my assistant to my office. Yes, Professor? Hold on one second. I rifle through the contents of the box. Carefully, I extract the blood samples that Theo mentioned. They appear to be stored in test tubes. Would you mind asking Dr. Rayford to analyze these blood samples? I'll do that, sure. As I hand the samples to her, I notice that she looks like she wants to say something. Over the 2 years we've been working together, I've picked up on a few of her tells. What is it, Minnie? I had to go with the detective. If you don't mind me asking. Oh, not at all. He's the same as always. There's lingering beef, of course, but we managed to put it aside for something more important. He has brought me a rather significant case that he suspects might have some supernatural elements, as hard as it was for him to admit it. Oh, good for him. I can't help but grin at her remark. Well, I'm glad it didn't end in a shouting match, at least. Me too. I'll deliver the blood samples now, Professor. Thank you, Minnie. Minnie hurries out. I'm alone in my office again. Remembering the conversation about the case, I am suddenly engulfed by unexplainable, eerie feelings. I should start right away. Okay. Drag and drop items from the inventory to the desk. Select an item in the records. Then press the icon to open the inspector. I guess that must be the inspector there. And read insights you've gathered. Hover the magnifying glass above evidence to access the information and see the details in it. Okay, so make liberal use of the mag lens. Use the black light to see invisible things. Ooh, fancy. Read the encyclopedia to gain additional information. and then press the button to end the investigation. Okay. Okay, there's the encyclopedia, there's the lens, and there's the blacklight. Okay, and then help is the tutorial all over again. No, stop. Oh no, go away, go away, go away. Thank you. You're gonna fall asleep? No worries, Brady B. Appreciate you hanging out. Have a good sleep. Okay, let's start with the photo. Hello? There you go. The first victim's crime scene. This is the first time I have encountered something that could be ossification. I feel sick to my stomach. No one deserves to die like this. Hmm? Something's odd with her fingers. Are we just doing the same thing again? Okay, something odd with her fingers. Now, I did get a message from the devs saying don't stack up a bunch of stuff on the desk. I guess they're working on that. So we'll try to be careful with that. So let's go one by one. This seems to be the second victim's crime scene. Her complexion, it's not quite the pale hue of death. Far paler than should be possible, almost drained of color. Something's odd with her fingers. One, two, three. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait a minute. 1, 2, 3. It looks for all the world like she's got 6 fingers there. All right. Pinky, ring, social finger. There's the thumb. But it's like there's 2 index fingers. Hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Because that's not a thumb right there. There should be if that was the thumb, there'd be a gap there. This lady's got 6 fingers too. Well, let's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so this. All right. I think we found one of the things that's strange about their fingers. Third victim's crime scene. Her fingers. I've seen corpses before, but never like this. There's another strange thing about her fingers. Is it that there's 6 of them? Also, okay? I can't get a look on what that document is. One, two, three, 4. Well, hang on. That actually looks comparatively normal. 1, 2, 3, 4, and presumably the thumb's underneath. This is the 4th victim's crime scene. Poor girl. It's a cruel thing to see youth being stolen so abruptly. Ah, but no mention of the fingers. Hello? Oh, do I need that? How does one open? Nothing hidden there. Yeah, I'm hearing a noise, but it's not. Nothing appears to be changing. So, wait. Yeah, something keeps procking, but nothing's changing in the photo. So maybe the black light just doesn't do anything for them. Let's see. Okay, so fae and insects. Okay, let's keep an eye out for anything involving six fingers. Some species of butterflies can glow by having a chemical known as phosphorus, which fairies also have. Okay, so black light over butterflies. Similar to fairy kind, insects as well as birds, and the transfiguration, which is a kind of metamorphosis. Transfigured spells can make themselves or fellow fae take on another form, including appearing human. Now, fae have heightened powers of suggestion, include the emission of toxins, has notice or illusions. Some high fae can transform living beings into solid objects, such as stone or bone. Okay. Fae factions. The scribes and the warriors. The scribes are for defensive magic and intelligence. The warriors for their power and offensive magic. Meanwhile, the low fae faction is fae with limited parasitic magic. The history of fae class is not very well documented. There's a certain level of disdain for the other faction. There are disputes between the same faction as well. Sure, faction within a faction. Both factions of high fae deem parasites despicable low fae due to the limited and parasitic nature of their magic. Okay, so the scribes and the warriors don't necessarily like each other, but they both don't like the low fae. Yeah, high fae, low fae. See, all fairy kinds seem to be weak against iron, although a small amount of iron in your blood does not seem to ward off fairies. Historically, cold iron is often forged as weapons used to repel fairy magic. Intricate use of iron. Okay, so a black. Okay, so special fae blacklight. Scribe magic appears blue. Warrior magic red. Parasitic magic purple or violet. Okay. So scribe blue. Warrior red. Parasitic purple. I am going to take notes because I feel like this is all going to come. This is all going to be on the test. Let's see. Scribes are high fae, who just the benevolence and kindness similar to humans, tend to be friendlier to humans. It's only in the form of favor exchanges. And they don't go out of the way to help others like humans would. It is contingent upon the favor that humans deliver to them. Some scribe fae may use their magic to give blessings who have done very special favors or boons via an inheritable is marked such as birthmarks. They last through generations. Remember, fae touch bloodlines and become wealthy. Okay. They also have a curse, sometimes even deadly if they feel offended or insulted. Some of them are also prone to pranks or mischief when bored. Warrior fairies are territorial, protective, tend to be unfriendly, especially if they come from the scribe faction or human. That's pretty much everyone. Despite anyone who interferes, humans that enter their territory even accidentally may face elimination through the warrior's offensive magic. They are known for they don't venture, but they are known for their aggressive and volatile disposition. Caution is advised. Fairies' limited magic need to feed off of mostly drained from humans, blood, hormones, emotions, that source. Is a changeling. Some high fae like to capture humans and bring them into the fairyland for purposes of reproduction, servitude, ritualized combat. Rude. The fairies leave changelings behind to mask their absence. Their changes. Oh, it is a parasitic type. Due to the complexity of fae magic required to changelings, almost always goes awry. Anomalies common among changelings include an extra finger or an extra toe. Polydactylism. How about that? Nearby heat conductors, a small metallic object, also known to repel or warp the magic, creating changelings. Okay. Oh, there's more. Okay. Hang on. I can't. Am I supposed to be able to open these case files? Because they're not opening. Okay. Now that we know, okay, so we just saying there's something odd with the fingers. Okay, so that's not going to do anything. So this middle-aged woman in the collared blouse is the victim. I guess this elderly man in the suit is her father. The elderly woman wearing the cardigan is her mother, I suppose. The bespectacled man is perhaps her brother. Oh, something on the yeah, there was a blue mark on their hands. There, but not there and there. Okay, so the victim and presumably her father have the blue, looks like the ascribe mark. The mother and the brother question mark do not. Okay, the middle-aged woman with the pearls is the victim. Ellie with facial hair is her father. The fur collar is her mother, and the other may be her brother. Okay. What's that in her hand? Okay, so she's got the scribe mark. Dad does not. Brothers does not. Okay, so there's some consistency with the scribe marks there. There's a coin like this. It looks rare. Oh, what's happening? It's it's glowing purple, which suggests parasitic, but there's also some red in there. I've seen this makeup powder somewhere recently. It's from Nectar Bell. This must have belonged to one of them, but which? I wonder if the dealer likes the box design and carrying around in her pocket since it's already used up. Maybe the chemist has some interesting insight since her family owns the brand. Oh! So our chemist friend does come from money. Nothing there. Okay. Wedding ring seems to be made out of gold. Oh, except it also glows purple. So it's a parasitic ring. Okay, the annual Leos Gala, Saturday at 8 o'clock, formal tile requested. My patron invited me to this event. I'm still uncertain if I want to attend. Yeah, nothing there. Okay, Oh, select an item in the records, then press the icon in the investigator. Oh, select an item in the records, these things, then press the icon to open the inspector and read the insights you've gathered. Okay, did that. Did that. That was kind of a giveaway. Okay, so... Wait, select an... No, it says right there. They should select an item in the records, then press the icon to open the inspector. Okay. Okay, got that. Photo 1. Okay, there. Okay, so the first victim displays a manner of death, hardening into bony tissue, nose ossification. Seems to be something strange with the victim's fingers. Okay. Which is refusing to drink anything but her own blood. Oh. Head to niblet. Remember, doesn't she gnawing her own fingers down to the bone? And Mary Hatcher poisoned. Nothing odd. Yeah, Mary Hager has the requisite number of fingers. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so Audrey Wooldridge and her family. Yeah, Audrey's got the blue mark, so does her dad. Moore, only Susan Moore has the scholar mark. Has a mostly violet and some red traces of... Okay, so it's both parasitic and warrior. Wedding ring from the second victim. Okay. There's some violet and red traces. Yeah. Oh, and there's a whole other section. I see. Okay, but now what? I've gone through the entire encyclopedia. I've magnified everything. I've blacklighted everything. Yeah, though you're doing. I've done everything I think I can do. I don't have the button in the top right. Select an item, yeah. Press the icon, yeah. Yeah, we did that. We did that. We did that. And we did that. I got the case file here, and yeah, there's nothing there. We did that. We did that. We did. Yeah, nothing there. Yeah, I've done everything. The only other thing that's left is, these files, and there's nothing in there for me to do. Oh, fuck's sake. I had to go over that spot in particular. God damn it. Alright, Audrey Woodridge, 51. Hardening into bony tissue from a far left side of the card stove. Time of death around 1 p.m. An affluent middle-aged woman. Victim reported hearing strange noises and strange phenomena in the days immediately preceding her death. Suspected of strange involvement in occult matters. No drugs or poisons. Further autopsies waiting. Woodridge, that's a familiar name. Okay, thank you. Okay. See, up. Okay, there. Susan Moore, 40 years old. Refused to drink anything but her own blood. That time around 11. Wasn't it? Yeah, it's the parasites that subsist off of, draining humans of their various bodily fluids. Affluent middle-aged woman in the city. For some prolonged paranoid episode. Acting erratically saying strange things. No signs of dehydration or hemochromatosis. No traces of drug or poisons. No, blood does not contain iron. Oh. So number 2, Susan Moore. No iron in her blood. I see. Edna Niblet, 64 years old. Gnawing her own fingers down to the bone. Does that kill you? Or maybe blood loss from that? Affluent middle-aged woman. Prior to the victim before she visited drop off an invitation. Also check on the well-being before she acting strangely at a party the night before. She was an emotionally charged conversation between the victim and a young factory girl. Didn't think of much at the time. The invitation card was seen close to the victim's corpse and taken as evidence. No drugs or poison. Blood does not contain iron. Also, so Edna Niblet. Also. And then Mary Hatcher, 19. Yeah, she's the odd one out. Death from shock due to arsenic poisoning. Young factory girl. She's included in this case probably because she had been seen having a heated conversation with the third victim shortly before that victim's death. Victim's father described her as not acting like herself in the days before she passed. The victim visited the police station, confessing that when looking at her, something crossed her face and she appeared to change her mind. Currently at the station without saying anything to the further viewing officer. Violent abdominal cramping, diarrhea and vomiting, consistent with the effects of arsenic poisoning. Poison in blood type A, and the last she was drinking from near the time of death. Okay, so, there we go. So now we can do that. Okay, you go there. We'll be responsible. We'll put our tools back. But real quick, did this mention anything about the blood? Okay, no, we're still investigating Audrey Woodridge. So Woodridge, we don't know. So yeah, Woodridge Moore and Niblet all appear to be changelings. Hatcher just had an argument with one. Moore and Niblet have no iron in their blood. We don't know about Woldridge, and then Hatcher's type A. So, Woldridge and Moore have the scholar mark. Presumably they are, if they're like old money families, presumably they would have been blessed by the Fae. Okay, I think we're good. Although, hang on. No, diggity dang it. Let me drop a save right there, just in case. I don't love that you gotta go through the entire help screen, but anyway. I think we found everything we can find. A knock on the door makes me glance up from my desk. I realize the sun has set while I've been absorbed in the investigation. Come in. My assistant enters the office. Dr. Rayford has arrived to drop off the blood samples, and she wants to talk to you. Already? Yeah, she's just out the door. I must say, I'm pleasantly surprised at her work speed. All right, send her in. Minnie nods. Dr. Florence Rayford enters. It's only been 3 years since she's worked at this university, but she has proven her reliability more often than not. Oh, good evening, Professor. Good evening, Doctor. Dr. Rayford hands over the blood samples. She also gives me her lab report. Here you go. Thank you. So, what have you found? The most peculiar thing is that there's no iron in one of the blood samples. Say, is this fae-related? Her question prompts me to ask myself, to what extent of the case can I divulge to her? Theo did say that I may ask the patient or her for information using some of the evidence. Although she has knowledge of fairies and their curses, can she handle seeing crime scene photographs? As I return from my thoughts, I notice her voice has taken on a higher pitch. Oh, this is so exciting. Are you working with the police? Does this mean we'll get better credibility in the eyes of the public? Oh my, we're going to be in the newspapers, aren't we? And not on the usual corner spots, too. Oh, I can hardly contain myself. It appears she took my silence as a yes. It's good that she's excited about the possibility for advancement for faeology, but her cheerful disposition can sometimes be overstimulating. As if on cue, a knock on the door arrived to spare me. This specific sound is familiar, more familiar than when my assistant knocks. Oh, is this our patron? Special delivery. Mr. Hankel's hands are empty. Okay. And what, pray, might you be bringing for me? Is it you? Are you the special delivery, Mr. Hankel? Now, if you wish to call me special, I certainly won't stop you. But I did bring a box of huckleberry muffins for your office. Huckleberry muffins? I mean, it's not like it's illegal or anything, but there's just so many better uses for huckleberry. The Minerva was instantly enamored by the buttery scent. She's currently feasting on them. She'll leave a muffin apiece for the rest of us. Oh, hello there, Florence. I didn't expect to see you in this office. Why, hello, Mr. Hankel. Fancy seeing you here. Although you do have a habit of making this office your sole stop on campus. She chuckles. Well, that's just because this is where all my money went. A well-spent investment, nonetheless. He makes a retort at Dr. Rayford, but throws a subtle smile in my direction. How cheeky. So, Florence, what's been occupying your time as of late? She looks at me briefly, possibly wondering whether she should tell him about what she did for me. Oh, the usual matters, I suppose. I tried asking your father about you at the last soiree. However, he confessed he didn't have the faintest idea. You must tell me more about your chemical research one of these days. The colorful pursuits of you young academics thrill me to no end.
Oh, you know I can't share all that much, Mr. Hankel. Unless, of course, you find yourself in the position to become the chemistry department's benefactor, then all those secrets are yours. A more playful giggle escapes her lips this time.
I'm afraid I'm all tapped out, financially speaking.
Oh, I'm not buying that, not for 1 second. He's telling fibs, isn't he, Professor?
Well, I certainly don't want to get in the middle of the money talk of the rich.
I wish I had that information, Doctor. It would make proposing for research much easier, with a bit of delicate leverage, naturally.
Mr. Hankel laughs in amusement.
I feel I should ask the reason he's here before this conversation takes an odd turn. On another note, Mr. Hankel, did you get my letter? Is that the real reason you dropped by? Upon recalling I asked Oz to insert the letter into his mailbox only this afternoon, I am about to retract these questions. Unexpectedly, though, he bows his head in assent.
Your words have always had this immersive impact on me. Perhaps that is why you are such an effective educator. Whenever I encounter your written language, I long to hear it spoken post-haste. Are you putting a spell on your letters, by chance?
Oh, I think you're the one with all the spells, Mr. Hankel. Your muffins, for one, have always been successful in getting Minnie's guard down. Oh dear, you two are making me blush. I suppose it's time to take my leave and let you both be. I'm due somewhere shortly anyhow.
Oh no, that might not be necessary. No, I can't stay for long either.
Mr. Hankel lapses into silence as he continues staring into my eyes. It's difficult to maintain eye contact with him, but even harder to look away. I wonder what I should do. I ought to discuss the case, but both of them seem to be in a hurry. Should I tell Mr. Hankel to return another day, since I need to have an important conversation with Dr. Rayford right away? Or should I dismiss the chemist and meet with my patron now? There are benefits to either choice. Soliciting Dr. Rayford's opinion on the case may be a good idea. She can share more insight on the chemistry side of the case. Her parents own a successful company that makes the powder, makeup, and evidence. She would also know the social happenings among the wealthy elites. On the other hand, Mr. Hankel is also a viable candidate for an interview. His connections within high society know no bounds. Everybody seems to know him one way or the other. He might know things Dr. Rayford doesn't. Since he's been funding my research for a long time, he's also more familiar with fairy topics. Whom should I interview? Okay, so we have, according to Theo, we only have 24 hours to come to a conclusion. I suppose that would mean we should get Dr. Well, I guess I'm assuming, yeah, the blood work is going to be of high importance. I guess the argument for Rayford would be, yeah, the high society connections. Because presumably Dr. Rayford doesn't spend a lot of time. Yeah, she spends more time in her lab than hobnobbing with high society, according to her father. But we say so. If things go particularly poorly, we can work back. Let's talk to Dr. Rayford. Dr. Rayford, would you mind staying a little longer? I'd like to hear your opinion about something. Dr. Rayford glances at me, then Mr. Henkel, then back at me with a glimmer of mischief in her smile. Are you sure, Professor? I let out a resigned sigh. Sometimes it can be quite difficult to deal with her teasing. Yes. When I address my patron once more, regret colors my tone. Mr. Hankel, would you mind coming back another day? I have something crucial to discuss with the doctor at present.
Of course, I understand your scientific pursuits precede all else. I wouldn't have it any other way.
Thank you for dropping off those muffins. He only replies with a smile.
I'll see you soon, right?
As soon as possible, I promise. Mr. Hankel and Dr. Rayford exchange brief goodbyes. My patron then departs. I am alone with the chemist again. Doctor, I might need your further assistance regarding the blood samples, and also something more pressing. So it is true, you are working with the police. I suppose. Detective Krause consulted me this morning about an ongoing criminal case. Oh? Do I sense an old flame flickering back to life? Your eyes are tricking you, Doctor. It has been ashes for a long time now, and nothing has changed. There's a hint of disbelief in her eyes, but I won't indulge in her playful teasing, as there is a more important matter at hand. I cleared my throat. So, I'd like to ask you for information, as you may be acquainted with some of the victims or their friends and families. All right. I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have. Thank you, although I do need your sworn secrecy on this. Of course. I'm adept at keeping secrets. You need not worry. These samples I analyzed are part of the evidence in this case, right? That's right. Let's begin. I tell her the fundamental facts of the case while she listens silently all the while. When I finish my summation, she has only one word to say to me. Interesting. Okay, so what do we do here? Got the ring, got a lab report, the invite. We got the niblet sample, and we got the Hatcher sample. Hatcher was the number 4 victim. She was the one who got done with arsenic. So I just drag it to her? I guess we do, okay. My, are you proposing to me, Professor? I'm afraid my heart still belongs to my late husband. I can hear sorrow seeping through her pepping voice. Okay, so that's not... yeah, let's talk about the... lab report. I've done all my best to put all the details in there, though I might have missed something regarding that curious blood sample. I found traces of arsenic in this blood sample. Yes, that was reported by the forensics team too. One wonders who could have done such a thing to the poor girl. Actually, chemists do sell arsenic to common people to make their own weed kill and rat poison. I haven't done that in some time, not since the university contract. But I'm sure the detective has asked his henchmen to collect purchase records from chemists all over the city, don't you think? Okay, so go with the niblet one. Oh yes, the most intriguing piece of evidence. It is weird, isn't it? It doesn't contain iron at all, even though it looks just like human blood. Not to mention the high percentage of phosphorus. Would you let me know if it ended up being a fairy after all? Only if I'm allowed. Is there any insight from chemistry as to why there would be no iron in red-colored blood? Sadly, no. I'm just as puzzled myself. Did that. Why, this is tomorrow's gala. I'm not going to be there since the opera's playing. I didn't know you were into opera, Doctor. Well, my late husband and I used to go there for one of our date nights. Sadness leaks through her eyes, even though her smile stays bright. I hadn't the faint that she'd been married before. Speaking of which, I spotted Detective Krause at the Met during last month's performance. He appeared to be enjoying the opera, accompanied by an attractive, tall, blonde woman. It was quite the unexpected sight. I never took him for an admirer of opera. Well, that's a new one on me. I sort of mentioned a notable closeness between the second victim and her husband. The second victim being Moore. Dr. Rayford won't be going. Edna Niblet. Mary Hatcher. Okay, what am I missing here? No, we've done that. We did that. What am I missing here? Okay, we got that. We did that. There's still nothing here. Or here. Or there, but hang on, can I drag that somewhere else? No. I can't go to the desk. So I'm stuck here. What? I'm clicking everything I know of. Oh, well, god dang it! Why? Some indicator there's more shit over here would be nice. Oh, okay. Is it Mrs. Woolridge? It's a little difficult to recognize her because of the, well, she speaks with the usual sunny lilt, which is quite surprising. I guess she has a strong stomach. That's right. What do you know of her? Everyone knows her and her family, that's pretty sure. They're one of the richest in the city, the elite of the elite. Accordingly, their circle consists only of a very selective people, such as your patron, I imagine. Oh, and their family likes to host charity events. Do you ever know her who dabble in occult matters? Unfortunately, what I told you was all I know about her. If she did dabble, do you think maybe her manner of death is a result of occult matters? It's a possibility. Okay, so he's got to go through all this stuff. Miss Moore! She's recognized the victim quite quickly. We met once or twice at a clothing store and exchanged a few pleasantries. Occasionally I would see her and her husband at various dinner parties as well. Oh, they were a lovely couple. Oh, yes, I know her, although I can't seem to recall her name. Mrs. Niblet. Oh, that's right. I saw her quite often at the auction, only going for rare coins. As usual, the winning bid was hers. I wonder if some of those coins carry some sort of curse, since they came from God knows where. Do you happen to know this girl? Unfortunately, no, I don't. It's surprising she seems rather unfazed by quite the gruesome photographs. I wonder if she's seen worse deaths caused by chemicals. Okay, so now we can end, but let's keep going. This is a family photograph of the Woolridges. Oh yes, it was everywhere in the papers when her father married the famous and one of the most beautiful socialites. The other man here is Mrs. Woolridge's stepbrother. Oh, it's the other man here is Mrs. Woolridge's stepbrother. Do you know anything about these people? Aside from being fabulously wealthy and well-known, not particularly. This is Mrs. Moore and her family. Can you show me what you know of them? Well, I heard that when Mrs. Moore's biological parents passed away, she was adopted by her parents' trusted employees, from whom she received a lot of love. Those employees couldn't have children, you see. Her biological parents left her a substantial inheritance, which she received when she came of age. Then she was married out of love to a wealthy entrepreneur. They were hand in hand wherever they met. Okay, that explains why she is the only one with the mark. Sad thing, her luck seemed to slip away just when she needed it most. Dr. Rayford seems to know more about Mrs. Moore than she let on earlier. While she sounds quite sympathetic, I can somehow sense a hint of jealousy in her voice. Goodness, what happened to this coin? It was quite icky to touch, didn't it? Ah, my parents' greatest achievement. It's one of the things I wanted to ask you, Doctor. I don't know much about makeup. How popular is this powder among high society? Oh, this powder has been all the craze lately among the upper class, since my parents have simply got Mary Pickford to do its advertisement. Well, I'll be. Okay, so Niblet had the coin. Number 2, Moore had the ring. Wooldridge and her father. Yeah, her and her father had the scholar mark, whereas here, it's just her. Okay, now, okay, so I should be more. Remember, we can click back and forth on that little menu. I think we're good. Well, let me check. So we did that. We did that. We dropped all of those on her, and then we dropped all of those on her. So yeah, I think we're set. I have no further questions. I believe I have enough information for now. Is that so? Well, all right. Earlier, you mentioned you had a prior arrangement, so I won't keep you any longer. Thank you for your time. You've been incredibly helpful. Oh, it's no problem. Don't hesitate to reach out if you require anything else. I give her a brief nod. Dr. Rayford departs. I will load again, but not for long. My assistant pops into the office. Professor, I'm heading home soon. Is there anything else I can do to help? No, I'll be perfectly fine. Did you save me a muffin? I think I'll stay and work a bit longer. Okay, see you tomorrow, Professor. As a trip home, Bob wishing me the same, Minnie leaves. I have some time until I have to wrap up my workday and head home from the office. Okay, so... yeah, so I think we've done the once over with all these, but we'll go ahead and check. Okay, that's all good. Yep. And then yeah, here we go. Yeah, so they get her and Dad, and then just her. Oh! I've seen this before. This is a parasitic fae. A failed transformation magic? Well, so much for that coin. Good grief. We should probably check the ring then. No? No? Okay. Okay, the Niblet blood sample. Ooh, okay, yeah, that's turning all kinds of colors.
So yet Niblet clearly, well, the lack of iron and the colors say, yeah, something's definitely up there. Yeah, then nothing there. And then we got the case files. Okay. Okay, this is Dr. Rafer's lab report on the blood samples. Kind of quite similar to the forensic report. Similar human blood, phosphorus, carbohydrates, and proteins. In the third blood, it does not contain iron. Moreover, the amount of phosphorus found in the blood is going to be higher than human blood, making it possible this is the blood of a fairy. Fourth victim blood is normal human blood with iron present. Traces far. Okay. I expected the report to be more detailed. Then again, I did ask her to finish it as soon as possible, and she delivered. Okay. I mean, speed, depth, accuracy. Pick two. Okay, is there anything new in these? Doesn't look like it. Yeah, we're still waiting on the Woolridge autopsy. Yeah, more. Yeah, her blood does not contain iron, but we don't have access to that. Now we got Niblet. And then we got the Mary Hatcher, the arsenic victim. Wasn't acting like herself, went to the police department, started to report something, and then had a look of horror and suddenly changed her mind. It's famous for the parasitic class, as confirmed by the violet traces, also some traces of red. So yeah, parasitic and warrior. And is there anything new here? Nope, still 20 pages. Okay. So it is unclear whether the victim was involved in occultism. Known for a rare coin collection. We don't know who Mary Hatcher is. Mostly violet and red traces of magic, and nothing to say about Mary Hatcher. Are we... Okay, you know what? Yeah, this might be our last chance. We'll just go ahead and drop a... We'll use our last save slot. It's the next afternoon. I thought Theo was coming by in the morning. I should be grading assignments, or reviewing the lecture I'm going to deliver come Monday, or do anything productive in the realm of professorial duties. Instead, I find my attention straying more and more toward the office door. I voice my frustrations to good old Oz. Theo will probably arrive at any moment. I can't stop wondering if my explanation will be enough for him. In the past, no sort of explanation ever seemed to please him when it came to fairies. Why would it do so now? My voice cracks with concern. Well, this time he came to you bearing in mind the possibility of fairy involvement. Or he'd be a fool if he discredits you so soon. My fairy companion's chirping becomes increasingly stern this time. But you need to get yourself together. You must remain steadfast and strong when facing the detective. Don't permit your voice to falter when presenting your findings. I know I can't let myself unravel at this point. It's just that he's never solicited my opinion quite in this manner.
A professional insight, no less. All the more reason to be as calm as you can be. Maintaining your composure is essential to living a persuasive argument. But no matter what happens, at least know you tried. At the end of the day, he's the one who needs to solve this case. You're right. Of course you are. I'm not a detective. I'm simply a professor sharing my perspective. Thank you, Oz, for always talking me off the ledge. Bah! Just then, someone knocks on the door. Well, that's Mark Hugh to sail past your window ledge. Best of luck. I whisper a hurried goodbye to my fairy friend. I'll see you tonight, Oz. Once Oz has flown out, I direct my attention toward the door. Come in. My assistant marches in. Professor, you have a visitor. The detective? Minnie nods. All right, send him in. Minnie nods once again and walks out of the room. Theo paces around a little bit after strolling in. He appears quite distracted. He finally stops and opens his mouth. So what have you learned? I take a deep breath. Here goes. I have to present my findings to perhaps the most sought-after detective in the police force. Theo investigates cases right when the crime scenes were unfolded. He's agonizingly familiar with the grit and crime of the city's darkest recesses. Meanwhile, as a professor, my expertise primarily revolves around the nebulous, the theoretical. I must do my best to stay calm and collected, as Oz suggested. I've read the case files. Victims' odd behavior shortly before death could be due to hypnotic spells from fairies. The fourth victim went to the police station, but before she said anything, it seems she saw something that scared her away. What if she saw something not human? In the manner of death, he interrupts me before I can finish. I have no time for assumptions. The papers telephoned our department this morning, said they found out about some of these deaths. So that's why he looks agitated. The chief is preparing a statement for tomorrow regarding this. So let's cut to the chase. Is there fairy involvement? I mean, yeah. Yes, I'm certain of it. I can tell his interest is piqued. However, I'd like to first lay out the basics, since I'm pretty sure you've discarded the things I've told you in the past. He grumbles, as if in admission to my statement. So far, we've identified 3 classes of fairies: warrior, scribe, and parasitic fae. Warriors have strong offensive magic, scribe's magic tends to be defensive, and parasitic magic is, well, parasitic. We faeologists have developed a tool called blacklight to determine traces of fae magic. It can be detected through photographs if the magic is especially strong. Warrior magic glows red, scribe magic glows blue, and parasitic magic shines purple. Excuse me. I found that seemingly fairies of one specific class are behind this. Which one's the culprit? Oh, okay, it's... See, here's the thing. We know it's not the scribes. It's either the warriors or the parasites. See, I wonder because like the ring and the coin, they had purple and red in them. And yeah, I don't have anything to check back. But yeah, okay. If we're going on the basis of their behavior, oh no. Okay, we saved like 5 minutes ago. If we totally beef it, we can come back without having to lose too much progress. Say the warriors. They're of the warrior class. What's the evidence? Oh, right. Yeah, the third blood sample that had had more phosphorus, but no iron, I think.
How does this prove warrior involvement?
I saw the blood sample beneath the blacklight to show the magic traces. You see, there's a glow of purple and red under the blacklight.
How do the purple traces, or parasitic magic, as you say, have a part in this?
The parasitic underlings of warrior help. Underlings of warrior high fae help with murders? Yeah, I haven't seen anything like that. No, it's clearly fairy blood. That's because this blood is fairies, and their blood contains traces of their own magic. This is further supported by blood sample analysis. Fairies' blood has high content of phosphorus, just like reported. Adding to that, the missing iron. Fairies have an aversion toward iron. They don't have it in their own blood. They can still, however, withstand the iron in human blood. That's why some parasitic fae like to drink our blood. As I ramble on, Theo listens intently, with a slightly surprised look on his face every time I start a new sentence.
To be honest, I'm out of words at the moment. What else you got?
Yeah, we probably should discuss the dead fae. That was a coin.
How does this prove warrior involvement?
I put the dead fae beneath the blacklight. This is a dead parasitic fae. Look, it glows purple and red under the blacklight, just like the blood.
And I take it their bodies still glow even after they're dead?
Correct. It takes a little while until their magic is fully dissipated from the corpse.
Honestly, just like a normal bug to me.
Hold on a second. I turn to the shelves and pick up one of the boxes containing a deceased insect from my ongoing research. I open the lid and show it to Theo. I found this one dying just yesterday. It died shortly after. Swiftly, I put it beneath the blacklight. A normal one doesn't glow, you see. Theo's expression is a blend of amusement and bewilderment.
Quite interesting. How does it end up here?
Right, yeah, so it tried to turn into a coin. Right? Yeah. Yeah, it's a parasitic fae that got warped by a coin due to transformation magic going awry. The coin and the evidence turned into this when I put it under the blacklight long enough, essentially revealing what it really was. So the third victim, Mrs. Diblet.
What about her?
Mr. Henkel said she had numerous coin collections displayed in all the rooms in her house. That particular coin must have been nearby when she met her fate. I can sense a feeling of unease reflected in Theo's expression as he stares at me.
I need a moment to digest all this.
I nod and take a moment to arrange the box neatly before placing it back on the shelves.
What else you got?
Oh yeah, the ring. The ring also glowed purple and red.
How does this prove warrior involvement?
I place the ring underneath the blacklight. You see, Mrs. Moore's ring glows purple and red under blacklight.
But why does it glow purple as well?
Parasitic fae. No, we only had the one parasitic fae, and it turned into a coin. So I guess this has to be transformation magic. That's because the ring is part of transformation magic. When the parasitic fae is transformed into a changeling or human lookalike, high fae magic is able to copy everything, including Mrs. Moore's wedding ring. There's a sudden silence in the air as Theo's eyes widen in consternation.
What the hell are we dealing with here?
He mutters in a voice that is filled with dismay.
There appears to be strong evidence pointing towards warrior involvement.
Based on what you showed me, parasitic fairies are one way or another connected to the matter of killing. But you also haven't told me how the warrior fairies killed the victims. Give it to me straight. How do you figure the murders were carried out? Okay. Parasitic underlings. No? Yeah, there's been no talk of underlings. Replace victims with changelings. Kill the changelings with ossification and hallucination spells. That could be because the first 3 victims all had 6 fingers. Because the transformation magic almost always goes awry, like the book said. Or kill the victims and nearby parasitic fate. No, I think let's go with the changeling explanation. The warrior high fae use their transformation magic to turn parasitic fae into human lookalikes of the victims, which are often called changelings. Changelings? I take out the crime scene photos with the middle-aged victims and lay them out on the table. Using a magnifying glass, I show the oddity in the victim's hands to Theo. This is one of the possible anomalies that is likely to happen due to the complexity of transformation magic used in created changelings. As famous as these ladies' families are, it would have been a big thing in the papers if they had 6 fingers from when they were children. I don't seem to remember anything like that in the papers, do you? No, me neither. Theo looks away, as though trying to remember all the newspapers he's read. It also explains the missing iron in the blood sample, since the corpses are not human. I wait until Theo meets my gaze again before continuing. Then they murder the changelings using ossification and hallucination magic. It's done to cover up what they really did to the humans. What they really did? Like what? It could be anything. The real humans might be kidnapped to the fairyland, destined to wed certain fairies and bring forth offspring, or be employed as a slave, or tortured for amusement until they die. I shiver at the thought of it happening to the poor ladies. Theo appears to be unsettled by the same thoughts as well. Hold on. Are you saying they might still be alive? There is a chance. Yet, the realm of the fairies is still an enigma, even for those who study their kind. The faeologists at the university have barely met any living fairies. You're aware of how fresh this field is within academia, aren't you? Theo nods. It pains me to admit I genuinely do not know how to get them back. I will keep trying nonetheless. We both fell silent, as though a heavy weight had settled on our throats, refusing to budge. We can also look at this case from another angle. Theo. We can also look at this case from another angle. The motives. Based on your investigation, look at the rationale behind the war. What could be the rationale behind the warrior fae's actions? It's difficult to pinpoint the reason why fairies do what they do, since they don't follow human rules or morality. However, I found that targeting people blessed by the scribes, yeah. Murder parasitic fairies because they are despicable low fae, or hatred towards humans may be the cause. Yeah, number 3 doesn't necessarily explain what we're dealing with. They murder parasitic fairies because they're despicable. Yeah, that number 2 doesn't track with they could just kill the parasitic fairies without doing the whole changeling thing. They just use their magic whenever they want. Yeah, I think they're targeting people blessed by the scribes. The 3 middle-aged are blessed by scribe faes, as shown by the sigils on one of their hands. I say as I hover the black light on top of the family photographs, one by one. I mentioned before that especially strong magic can be seen even through photographs. Yeah, I remember. He answers while taking the black light out of my hand and checking the sigils himself. 2 sigils light up on Mrs. Woolbridge's family photograph, and 1 on Mrs. Moore's. This sigil is a sign of being blessed by one of the scribe fae, usually given when someone has done a very special boon for a scribe. It gives good fortune and is passed down through generations. As you know, the middle-aged victims and their families are old, rich families that have stayed on top for many decades. That's how strong the magic is. Mrs. Moore was adopted, that's why it's only her who has it. Her late biological parents hailed from a distinguished and affluent lineage. Theo points at the faces in Mrs. Woolridge's photographs.
and he's the biological father, while the other two are step family. I nodded him. I'm positively sure that should we check into Mrs. Diblett's family photograph, she and her children would display the same sigils. Now see what I can do. Oh, and it's also meant as a warning for others not to harm the marked human. I guess that warning didn't work in this case, did it? No, it did not. I suppose this does make sense, and it is a pattern. Yes, this might be targeted murders. He then cast a glance my way with an air of satisfaction about him and breaks into a smile. Good job. Why, considering how rarely he gives commendations, this sounds like the compliment of a lifetime. I can feel my confidence going through the roof. Thank you. Lastly, what have you found on the poor girl, Mary Hatcher? Any connections to fairies? The chemist report is similar to the case files. The blood is normal human blood, traces of arsenic. I didn't find any signs of fairy magic from the evidence. She mentioned you might already be collecting purchase records from chemists all over the city. That's right. We're still investigating whether someone has a link to the girl. I see. The chemist's parents own a cosmetic company that produces the makeup powder in the evidence. She said it's popular among the upper class ladies lately since they've gotten Mary Pickford to do the advertisements. He picks out a small notebook and a pen from his trench coat and starts writing. I'm not sure if this is useful. Every scrap of information counts. I had to note down the things we've talked about today as well. Your findings really threw me for a loop. I forgot to take notes. Of course, take your time. While Theo is writing, I tidy up my desk and put the evidence back in the box. Anything else you got? That's all I have for now. He puts his notebook and pen back in his coat. And suddenly it's nighttime. He heaves a sigh so heavy, I can believe he has the weight of the city on his shoulders. Even so, when he looks at me, there's a glint of something that wasn't there before. This fleck of illumination is all the more stark since we started this discussion. It's hope, perhaps. A tiny, delicate thing is blooming in this room to counteract the overwhelming darkness and despair outside. I always knew you were clever. But I have to say, you've outdone yourself this time. I'm impressed. From start to finish, you were able to line the evidence perfectly with your theories. Everything makes perfect sense. I can't believe he's saying all this. I'm feeling like $1,000,000. Thank you, Theo. That means so much coming from you. Haven't I always told you you make a good detective? Yes, he has. It feels nostalgic all of a sudden. It feels like such a long time ago. That got a smirk out of him. Well, we still got our work cut out for us. But at least for now, innocent people won't get thrown in jail, thanks to you. I just need to convince the chief and the papers. Though with your findings, it sure would make it a lot easier. If anyone can pull it off, it's you. Even with that ragamuffin look, there's something about you that makes people listen to you and trust you. Well, now you did fall for this ragamuffin. And how do you know it wasn't your constant brush with danger that drew me in? Oh, I know. I sort of a comeback for once. He knows just how to catch me off guard. And all of a sudden, the playful glint in his eyes is replaced by a serious stare. Listen, I might have to bring up your name in my report. I can't predict how the papers will handle this, but it's possible they'll mention you in faeology. This is good for your field, of course, but it could draw some unwanted, dangerous attention your way. I'll be fine, Theo. I can protect myself. This is what the field needs. Indeed, you're more than capable of taking care of yourself. I know that very well. I do appreciate you worrying over me. Theo's concern seems to fade, and he lets out a sigh of relief. Well, this day's certainly been a ride. He glances at his wristwatch. I still got time until I have to get back to the station. Fancy a drink with me? You can tell me more about fairies. I'll listen with way less judgment this time, just like I promised. Sure. Would you mind waiting until I finish grading a few assignments? It'll take 10 minutes at most. Go ahead. I focus my attention on the assignments. There's a minute of companionable silence. The scribbling of my pen is the only noise audible. Theo then speaks. You know what we should toast to when we drink? What? We should toast to being a good team. We are a team, aren't we?
aren't we? Or at least we should be. Your knowledge of the fairies is exactly what we need to make sense of all this mess. It's not just that. Your talent for investigation is as impressive as they come. If you act as a consultant in high-profile cases like this, you'd be handsomely compensated, of course. Hey, Andrea, good to see you. Hope you're doing all right. And are you still of a mind to pick up those boxing classes after that dream of yours? Hey, imagine what those funds could do for your theological research. So what do you think? Would you ever consider joining the investigation in an official capacity? I'll consider it. Oh, ending number 1, detective duo. Ooh, multiple endings? Oh, and we got the ending and we're still going. Oh, how about that? Okay. It's another afternoon in the office. My patron has stopped by to discuss a research project I've been considering. Now that theology might get increased credibility, especially with the police, I think we should examine the prevalence of strange deaths caused by fairy. Don't you think, Mr. Hankel? The police might agree to help us collect the data.
I'm not so sure about that. It would take time for the police to trust us to that extent. Besides, wouldn't it be more pressing to focus your research on warrior fays?
We have to talk. Before I can respond, 2 individuals suddenly barge into my office. Sorry, I tried to stop him, but couldn't. Even though I told him you're in a meeting right now. That's okay, Minnie. You can let me handle this. If you say so, Professor. Minnie grumbles at Theo as he walks out. What's eating you, Theo? Theo doesn't so much as glance at Mr. Henkel. He unfolds a rolled up newspaper from the inner coat of his pocket. He hands it to me.
Oh no.
At a glance, I can see the phrases, fairies are real, evil is afoot, and fairies killing humans spelled out in bold, oversized letters. The New York Tributes? As I begin reading, my patron peers over my shoulder to read as well. It's not the chief statement that made the front page. It's another bizarre murder, and this time the victim is a beloved celebrity. She danced until her body gave out. They wrote all the excessively grisly details connected to her death. Moreover, the reports surrounding the other homicides have been thoroughly sensationalized and exaggerated. Well, it is 1920s journalism. What are you going to do? They depicted fairies as evil enemies of mankind, and in some parts, they even insinuate that war between beings is brewing. Reading all this makes my heart sink and my stomach churn. I need to put the paper down for a moment. This is truly awful. I've already checked the crime scene. The details of this latest incident look similar to what we've recovered from the previous murders. Given everything, I'd say fairies definitely in the picture here. Though it's still hard to make heads or tails of all this. It's very difficult to grasp their motives, but judging by the methods and frequency, I have to say this is significant. Something big may be going on in the land of the fairies. As the conversation unfolds, Mr. Henkel appears deeply in thought. I need to check something really quick. Dia gives me a photograph of celebrity. Knowing exactly what he wants, I retrieve the blacklight from my drawer and examine the photograph closely. Both Mr. Theo and Mr. Henkel peek over my shoulder to see. A sigil, the same one as the other 3 victims had. I suppose we can now establish that these are targeted murders. I nodded him. For some reason, Mr. Henkel is nodding with me. Although the 4th victim, Mary Hatcher, doesn't have the sigil, does she? Did you find anything more about it? Theo shakes his head, leaving behind a troubled look. Nobody in the purchase records has a strong link to the girl. We're asking around here and there. The girl was a saint. Everybody loved her. Her squabble with Mrs. Niblet is the strongest lead we have. A striking realization dawns upon me. What if a fairy transformed into a human and purchased the poison? What? They can do that? Suddenly, Mr. Hangel's familiar voice fills the room after his long stretch of silence. No, yes, Detective. Although, when a fairy shifts into a human shape, they cannot assume the identity of someone already living. Your culprit may well be a name on the list, but one that doesn't truly exist. I nod in agreement with the words, feeling slightly proud that my patron is reading all the knowledge this university has to offer. Theo flinches at Mr. Hangel's input, clearly having dismissed him as part of the furniture. He then scoffs. Theo! All I get from Theo is a shrug. Surprisingly, he turns toward the patron. From what I've come to understand, fairy magic is more than capable of doing the killing. They have no need for poison. But I won't discard the possibility. Mr. Hengel only replies with a smile. Well, that's certainly a rare occurrence. Theo goes back to ignoring Mr. Hengel and talks directly to me. I should mention that I've got permission for you to check out the crime scene. Come with me tomorrow. I'll see what I can do. Alright, I gotta go. I'm leaving the newspaper here. There are more articles about fae-haunted that you should read. Without so much as a word of goodbye to Mr. Hengel, Theo turns and leaves. I pick up the paper again and continue reading, while Mr. Hengel silently reads alongside me. The field of fae-haunted is indeed mentioned quite markedly, but its loyalty to humankind is under scrutiny. Although the police chief spoke of our help, the papers continue to raise doubts about our involvement in these killings. Is the Faeology University a friend or a foe? Dun dun dun! There we are. Okay, there's the demo. That is the prologue of Death Faeology. We got our credits here real quick. Mushroomallow. As well as Lely, Emelisa, Firman. Oh, nice. They even credit former team members. That's always solid of them. And they credit the music, the sound effects, the fonts. Nice. Okay. Yeah, so that was the demo for Death and Faeology. Yeah, solid. Yeah, the hints of romance weren't as overt as some of the other demos we've been playing, but I would say this they've done a really interesting job of creating a I think the phrase I mentioned earlier, the kind of magical realism. So it's kind of like that 1920s New York setting, but with a very much like the fairy world kind of intruding, one existing and then intruding on ours. So yeah, I will. Yeah, I honestly, some of the demos we played have gripped me more than others. But I also I am interested in seeing like what the what the world of Death and Faeology looks like when the full release is out. Again, just like Okami, the Steam page does not list a release date, but obviously the demo is there for anyone to play, and as we've seen, there are apparently multiple endings that we can get to. I don't know how many. Maybe you can find that for yourself. But yeah, so that was a good time. I liked that one. I was probably at the very least it's in the top 5 that we've played as part of this festival. I should say, yeah, this is the last day of the official festival, but there's a couple lingering titles that I think we might come back to. I guess on an unofficial basis. But wait, we're allowed. Anyway, we are going to leave it there. YouTube friends, thank you for hanging out. We'll see you next time, and bye for now.